This is Gary Habermas. He is a New Testament scholar who gives lectures on the resurrection of Jesus. He is Distinguished Research Professor and Chair of the Department of Philosophy and Theology at Liberty University. Liberty University was founded by Jerry Falwell.
Yeah. And what's crazy is of my 40-something books, exactly half of them are on the resurrection. I'll give you one more. I do a minimal facts argument, and I use basically 6 minimal facts.
Gary Habermas' 6 minimal facts argument does not include the fact that Jesus is black. It is necessary that Jesus is black, otherwise there cannot be any salvation. This is William Lane Craig. He is visiting scholar of philosophy at Talbot School of Theology and professor of philosophy at Houston Baptist University. He has authored or edited over 30 books, including the Callum Cosmological Argument and Assessing the New Testament Evidence for the Historicity of the Resurrection of Jesus.
I think it's critical that Christians be able to present objective evidence in support of our beliefs. Otherwise, our claims hold no more credibility than the assertions of anyone else who claims to have a private religious experience. Fortunately, Christianity is peculiar in that it is a religion which is rooted in historical events.
William Lane Craig believes in presenting objective evidence, but he presents absolutely no objective evidence that Jesus is black. Gary Habermas and William Lane Craig give some compelling facts for the historicity and the fact of the resurrection of Jesus. The fact that Jesus died and rose from the dead is irrefutable. However, Habermas and Craig intentionally leave out another fact that is equally important, and it is the fact that Jesus is black. It was a black man that died on the cross. It was a black man that rose from the dead. It was a black man that ascended to heaven. It is a black man that will come again for his people. The exclusion of this all-important fact by Habermas and Craig makes them culprits to the cover-up. The cover-up of the truth that black people, those called Negro, are the true Jews and Hebrews of Scripture. The fact that the Bible is their history and it was given to them only by God. These and many more facts are not dealt with by Habermas and Craig. Gary Habermas and William Lane Craig pretend to be champions of truth, but in reality they are wolves in sheep clothing. They are part of the cover-up. This is Risto Shopov. He played Pontius Pilate in the movie The Passion of the Christ in 2004. This is a copy of Pilate's letter. Pilate's report to Caesar of the crucifixion of Jesus. Vallius Patercox, a Roman historian, was 19 when Jesus was born. Priscian is a historian, and Tacitus, also a historian. Both of them made reference to Vallius' writings. They say Vallius is a descendant of the family Campania. There is something in this letter that certain interest groups do not want this information to get out and open to the public, especially black people, because the information pertains to them. Within Pilate's letter, we find something that has been a major part of the cover-up, but it is uncovered in this letter. Pilate gives a very brief description of Jesus and the Jews. He says the following: "But the rich Jews hated him and cursed him behind his back and called him an Egyptian necromancer." In another section of the letter, Pilate was contrasting Jesus' appearance with that of the Jews. Pilate says of the Jews, "What a contrast between him and his hearers, with their black beards and tawny complexions." The usage of the word Egyptian in description of Jesus lets us know that Jesus is black. Tawny is a light brown complexion. It is not white nor so-called olive. It is a brown color. So where was Jesus buried? And how did the burial place look? The location of Jesus' burial has been kept hidden for hundreds of years. It was kept hidden from the original black Jews, the so-called Negro, and thanks to Hadrian, who kick-started the cover-up, all things about Jerusalem and Judah are hidden. Hadrian was on a campaign to wipe Jerusalem and Judah out of history and off the map. The location of the tomb that Jesus was laid in is north of the northern wall of Jerusalem, close to the northern end of the Kidron Valley. After Jesus' trial with Herod and Pilate, Jesus was taken away to be scourged. Josephus offers accounts of flagellations carried out, where the strokes were delivered with such strength that they exposed the victim's innards. He also confirms that scourging was a prelude to crucifixion. But where was Jesus scourged? And where is the tomb he was laid in?
The Antonia fortress was ordered to be built here by King Herod. The praetorium was located inside, where Pontius Pilate tried Jesus. These slabs were part of the Lithostrotus, the same stone floor graced by Jesus following his sentencing and where he was flogged, insulted, and crowned with thorns.
Jesus was taken to Pilate to be tried, and Pilate took him away to be scourged and flagged, and Jesus was tied to a pillar. The story that part of the pillar is at the Basilica of the Holy Sepulchre and resides in the Franciscan chapel is a lie. The claim that another part of it was given to Giovanni, Cardinal di Colonna the Younger, by the King of Jerusalem during the Fourth Crusade is a lie. The claim that Colonna took it back with him to Rome, Italy, and placed it in the Basilica di Santa Prassede also is a lie. The claim that part of the column is housed in a bronze reliquary and can be found at the San Zeno Chapel is another lie. These are lies of a thief with an agenda. These are lies due to the fact that the Legion Exfrontensis guarded Jerusalem from 66 AD to 217 AD. Afterwards, the Roman army changed into the Byzantine army, and the guarding of Jerusalem continued to this day. The Fourth Crusades happened with Hadrian's Jerusalem. It did not occur in the real Jerusalem, located in Namibia, Southwest Africa. All of this occurred in Namibia, Southwest Africa, in the Karas region. The so-called Via Dolorosa has nothing to do with Jerusalem, nor the historical event of the crucified Yahshua. Via Dolorosa is based on the discovery of a stone pavement that dates to the 2nd century AD, to the time of Hadrian. This is evidence that the Via Dolorosa is part of Hadrian's Jerusalem. What you are viewing is the actual location and residue of the Antonia fortress in the real Jerusalem, located in Namibia, Southwest Africa. This is the real thing. This is not virtual. nor a remake or model. This is the real residue of the Antonia fortress. This is where the Praetorium was located. This is where the scourging took place. This is where the flagellation of Jesus happened. The way to Golgotha was probably the following route. This is not the actual route, but it is a candidate for one of the actual routes to Golgotha. Jesus, carrying a heavy wood beam, with some assistance from Simon, walked a distance of 4.62 miles, all the way to Golgotha, and he did this after being beaten, scourged, and flagged. Many people followed, many people were witnesses, and the Jews, the ones who were converts and some who were descendants of Herod, these were there, and it was these Jews that demanded Pilate to crucify Jesus. The Jews who were not converts, but Jews by blood, who were born a Jew, these Jews did not persist with killing Jesus. They did not demand that Pilate crucify Jesus. Jerusalem is very massive. The long walk of traversing the course down the massive size of Jerusalem while carrying a heavy beam in a physically weakened state was devastating and very painful. Jesus, making his way to Golgotha, was about to suffer more agony, more pain, and take death on, face to face, and then die. This is it. But it is not over, it is not the end. What appeared to be over, what appeared to be the end, is actually the beginning. It is the beginning of victory, not for Jesus, but for us. Jesus dying is the beginning of victory for God's most prized creation, which is man, who is made in his image. The death of Jesus is the seal from God that man can now live on in union with his God. It is the salvation of man from an eternal separation from God and an eternal punishment. The death of Jesus has brought union and peace between God and man. This is Golgotha. This is the actual, the authentic, the real Golgotha where Jesus was crucified. Contrary to popular belief that Jesus was crucified on top of Golgotha is the fact that Jesus was crucified at the foothill of Golgotha. We know this from scripture, where it is said that Pilate nailed a sign to the cross with the words Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. Scripture lets us know that there were many passers-by. Golgotha is 930 meters high. If Jesus was crucified on top of Golgotha, then the people that passed by would not have been able to see what was written in order to read the sign on the cross. The people that passed by and read the sign lets us know that the sign was at eye level at the foothill of Golgotha. But where is the tomb that Jesus was laid in?
The Roman seal has been broken. The tomb is now open and the Nazarene is gone.
What do you mean, gone?
Jerusalem is surrounded by two mountain ranges, one on the northern wall and the other on the eastern wall. Keep in mind that we are referring to the real Jerusalem of Scripture. We are not talking about the fraudulent Jerusalem in the fraudulent location called the Middle East, which is built on a studio set, much like Universal Studios. They build sets for their movies. The Jerusalem in the Middle East is Hadrian's Jerusalem, the daughter of Babylon. Hadrian's Jerusalem is shaped like a square. The real Jerusalem of Scripture is shaped somewhat like a triangle. Now the mountain ranges of the real Jerusalem are two in number. The mountain range on the eastern wall consists of Mount of Corruption, Mount of Olives and Mount Scopus. At the foothill of Mount of Olives is the Garden of Gethsemane. The second mountain range starts at the northern end of the Kidron Valley, and it is here where we will find tombs for the rich and wealthy only. It is here where we will find the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea. This is where Yahshua was buried. He was buried in a tomb located in a mountain range next to the northern wall of Jerusalem. Jesus was crucified with two malefactors, Dismas and Justus. There were over 100 Roman soldiers on guard. The seal on the tomb was removed, and the stone rolled away. Jesus rose from the dead, and was seen of many in Galilee. This is Mary of Magdala, known as Mary of Magdalene. What you are viewing is the real, the authentic, the actual city and location of Magdala, located in Namibia, Southwest Africa, in the Hardap region. This is the town where Mary is from. Magdala is hidden, covered up and concealed with the place name Mariental. Notice closely the play on words. In the name Mariental is the name Mary, spelled with an I. Magdala is in the tribe of Naphtali or Zebulun and Lower Galilee. Mary of Magdala and other women with her came to the tomb around 12 a.m. midnight. There is a lie perpetuated by the defunct Jesus seminar that says the women went to the wrong tomb. However, the presence of the 100 Roman soldiers would have let the women know where the tomb was. The Praetorian Guard, as we know it, didn't appear until shortly after Augustus became Rome's first emperor in 27 BC. After ascending to the throne, Augustus established his own imperial guards, comprised of 9 cohorts of 500 to 1,000 men each. Keep in mind, this was during one of the holy days for the Jews, the Passover, which means it was very crowded in Jerusalem, so much so that many people had to camp outside the walls of Jerusalem.